Recently, I saw a patient in her 70s that was wheeled in by a wheelchair by her husband. What was interesting about her case was that 3 months ago, she was doing perfectly fine. She didn't have any significant issues with joint pain, joint swelling, and all of a sudden, lately, she started getting significant joint pain in her hands, feet, wrists, elbows, ankles, and knees. She was actually overly swollen to the point where we thought this was concerning, and then that's why she was brought in a wheelchair, because she was unable to fully bend her elbows, wrists, or hips. So when we took a look at her closely, we saw that she had a history of rashes. This rash was actually covering her scalp, abdomen, and back. And so I thought, hey, you probably have something called psoriasis. And so when we asked her more closely, she did say that she actually had psoriasis for several years now. What was unique about this case was because when she was brought to see us, she actually thought that this was just going to be her life now, where she can barely move, because the last rheumatologist kind of didn't really tell her what her specific diagnosis was. But when she came to see us, I told her that, like, hey, look, you have psoriasis, you have all this joint swelling that kind of came on suddenly, and you even have something called dactylitis, which is like a sausage itches that can happen in several fingers, right? And when we did her blood test too, she actually had inflammatory markers, the ESR and also the CRP were both actually higher than 100. So alarm bells kind of went off that she has an inflammatory arthritis. But what I told her was that, this is actually very treatable now these days. And once we got her onto treatment a month later, she was actually doing great. She was all smiles, she was walking and moving, and she didn't have to be in her wheelchair anymore. So what I want you to take out of this is that, if you're someone that actually has psoriasis and all of a sudden started to develop joint pains and joint swelling, you really should think about and consider if psoriatic arthritis is possible, and usually go see a rheumatologist to help make that diagnosis.